Welcome back. Stay here and subscribe.
Vespasian, the soldier who rebuilt an empire. The year was 69 AD. Rome stood fractured, exhausted, and disillusioned. 3 emperors had risen and fallen. Civil war had consumed the provinces. Blood ran through the streets of the capital. And as the smoldering ruins of the Capitoline still breathed fire, a new name echoed through the empire: Titus Flavius Vespasianus. No divine blood flowed through his veins. He was not a patrician, nor born of the Julio-Claudian line. He was the son of a tax collector, a Sabine of modest means, and yet he would ascend to the throne of Caesar not by birthright, but by merit, by steel, by patience, and by war. His rise had not been fast. Vespasian served under Germanicus in Thrace, then in Britain, where he distinguished himself by storming over 30 enemy fortresses. He earned a reputation not for brilliance, but for reliability. He was a grinder, a general who got things done, practical, tough, lacking in aristocratic polish, but never in resolve. When Nero appointed him to crush the Jewish revolt in Judea in 66 AD, Vespasian had no idea he was heading into destiny. His command was methodical and effective. City after city fell to Roman discipline. But back in Rome, Nero's regime was collapsing. One by one, emperors seized power and fell. Galba, Otho, Vitellius. The legions in the east, seasoned, loyal, and tired of chaos, looked to their general. And on July 1st, 69 AD, in Alexandria, Egypt, the legions proclaimed Vespasian emperor. He did not rush to Rome. He understood power was more than titles. While his generals fought and defeated Vitellius's forces in Italy, Vespasian secured the eastern provinces. He ensured grain shipments from Egypt. He negotiated with powerful governors. He allowed others to bleed while he ensured the empire would feed. By December, Rome was his. The Vitellians had been purged. The Gemonian stairs had drunk the blood of yet another emperor. But Vespasian did not ride into the city in gold-draped chariots. He arrived quietly in 70 AD, the same way he governed, without spectacle, but with purpose. He inherited an empire in ruins. The treasury was nearly empty. The Senate was impotent. The army had grown arrogant and divided, with legions loyal to men rather than Rome. The people were weary, the provinces rebellious. But Vespasian saw not crisis, but opportunity. He moved quickly. First, he restored fiscal stability. He increased taxes, even introducing a levy on public urinals, famously telling his son Titus, "Money does not stink." He reined in corruption, demanded accountability, and refilled the state coffers with frugality that bordered on austerity. He was mocked for it by elites, but the empire could function again. Then, he reformed the army. He dispersed troublesome legions, enforced discipline, and expanded citizenship for provincial soldiers. He professionalized service, reduced the political ambitions of commanders, and made the military a tool of the state, not a kingmaker. He rebuilt the bureaucracy. Vespasian appointed loyal, competent equestrians to positions of authority, sidestepping the old senatorial aristocracy. In doing so, he shifted the power structure away from corrupt patricians and toward a merit-based administration. Most importantly, he gave Rome a vision. The fires of the Civil War had destroyed the temple of Jupiter Capitolinus, Rome's spiritual heart. Vespasian ordered its reconstruction immediately, and with it, the restoration of the Mos Maiorum, the ancestral Roman virtues of duty, frugality, and discipline. Perhaps no monument better captured his legacy than the Colosseum. Built on the ruins of Nero's Golden House, the Flavian Amphitheater was a message in stone. The era of emperors who built for themselves was over. This was for the people, for Rome. Its construction was financed by the spoils of the Jewish War, a brutal but successful campaign, led by Vespasian's son, Titus. The destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD cemented Flavian power. The temple was razed, the treasures brought to Rome, and Judea pacified. Titus returned as a hero, carrying with him not just wealth, but legitimacy. For the Flavians were not born into rule, they had earned it. The dynasty began to take shape. Vespasian's eldest son, Titus, was groomed as heir. He was charismatic, educated, a natural commander. Unlike Nero or Caligula, he did not waste years in self-indulgence. Vespasian placed him at the center of state affairs, often allowing him to handle petitions, judicial cases, and foreign policy. The Roman people saw what they had not seen in generations, a smooth and peaceful transition of power in preparation. Vespasian's younger son, Domitian, however, remained in the shadows. ambitious, resentful, and watching. But Vespasian, ever practical, focused on stability. His goal was not eternal glory, but lasting order. He reigned for 10 years. They were not years of conquest or cultural revolution. They were years of reconstruction. The empire's wounds, inflicted by Nero's madness, by Galba's rigidity, by Otho's haste, and Vitellius's gluttony, began to close. He restored respect to the Senate without ceding power. He honored the army without surrendering to it. He brought the provinces into the imperial system without promising equality. He did not pretend to be a god. He did not deify himself. He governed as a man, conscious of his mortality, yet unwavering in duty. His death came in 79 AD. In his final illness, as diarrhea and fever overcame him, Vespasian, ever dry-witted, even joked, "I think I'm becoming a god." It was a stab at the deification rituals of his predecessors, and a final wink to Rome. He died on his feet, standing, not lying down, a symbol of how he had lived, upright, unflinching, Roman to the core. He was succeeded by Titus, marking one of the first peaceful transitions of power in imperial history. But Vespasian's true legacy lay not just in succession. He had proven that an emperor need not be born noble to rule nobly, that one could rise from modest beginnings, command the legions, rebuild an empire, and leave it stronger than it was found. He laid the foundations of the Flavian dynasty, which would guide Rome through the end of the 1st century and set the tone for future emperors like Nerva, Trajan, and Hadrian. In an age of chaos, he brought order. In a time of ruin, he rebuilt. And in a world ruled by decadence, he governed with virtue. He was Vespasian, emperor by merit, not myth. And in the long annals of Rome, he remains a testament to what Rome could be when led not by a god, but by a man of discipline, vision, and unshakable will.